We got some new gameplay we can look at.
Ooh.
What do you think?
Exciting.
Good, bad?
Oh,
What
I
do you
love hearing
think?
that.
You
Oh,
wanna hear that?
fantastic.
I thought you would. I thought you would.
I hope you
thought
don't disappoint me. I
did.
swear to God, Wolf. I swear to
Well,
God.
I don't guarantee anything.
I swear
right?
to God,
So,
Wolf. Don't disappoint
We're
me.
fixing to look at a warrior and a huntress, so don't get your hopes up.
Okay, I'm not really gonna play him,
Don't-
so I mean, you
Don't
already
go
know which one I'm gonna play.
crazy. I don't want you to. I don't want you to get the wrong ideas or anything like that. So I'm
I
just
don't
gonna
ever
say
have
that this
ideas.
is just gameplay. Don't go too far into it, okay?
I don't have ideas.
I know. I know.
I'm just going to show you another island, I guess. This is the warrior.
Okay.
So this is your sort of like
That
quintessential.
area's
Wait,
that
there's a
area's
lot of
so
talking.
cool.
There's a lot of background noise.
They're
Great
at Game- this
map.
is
Look at
Gamescom.
the detail.
Okay. I thought it was like the actual like
Dude,
place and like it has a lot of people there. You know,
no,
NPCs
this
and
was
stuff.
at Gamescom.
Okay, makes sense.
Slamming guy, and I'll show you a few of the interactions between the different.
Do I dare say the other game? Is it similar to a B word character?
I mean, I guess.
Bar.
I guess so. But what's an area we haven't shown much? Maybe.
Is it similar to some other character from some other game? With Barbarian? Is that what he's going for?
I think,
Maybe.
but I couldn't tell.
Very good detail.
It sounds very similar to like this one game. I don't know. I can't even remember the name of it really, but it had like barbarian, I guess, in there with like maybe a witch and a ranger.
No, that's Path of
Maybe-
Exile. We're talking like some other game.
Other game. I don't
Path of
know.
Exile doesn't have barbarian. What the wrong with you?
Yeah, I know.
So
Dark and
this
Talk
is
about that trash game we were just talking about.
so
I get the joke.
World Act 4.
That's
this is
insane. That's a big,
Dude, I've never seen an
huge
ocean map
area.
like.
That's so cool. Yeah.
Dude, I've not seen a map like this ever in
Any kind of
any
like,
Diablo
game.
games or.
Granted, I bet you it's like fast travel to a different point, but it's still
Yeah.
really cool to see. It's still so cool to see, is the thing.
It's not straightforward. It has actually, like you're on a
Different
boat.
plots. Like in every part of this, you have to go back to King's March.
You know, it just looks
'Cause
like
it's
you're
the
actually
main
going on a
city.
boat, though.
It looks like that, but it might not be like that. It may be
Yeah.
because he's here. That's the connection.
Oh, those are the because he can't go to Twilight Enclave. Maybe he has to go somewhere else to go there, like Shrike Island.
Could be.
I like
Let's
it.
see.
It looks really
Journey's
good.
End. Here we go. Let's have a look at Journey's End.
Oh, it shows monster
I'm
level.
not sure what's sort of appeared.
Oh
on
my god.
You mean this doesn't scale with your character?
Oh no! How can I play with my friends?
streams and things like that, and what hasn't.
Oh no.
Oh, you guys-
Anyway, so right, so
That's
I
really
guess one of the things we really want to make sure
That was
seeing a
cool
lot of-
Sorry.
island, I
cool
guess.
animation.
I like the town.
So you like that animation?
Oh
It's
yeah.
just like super. I mean, look, like
he actually
the
does
portal,
something.
like the waypoint is like on the boat. That's really cool.
He's actually going down.
That's a small
to
detail. The waypoint, this thing made of stone, they have learned the technology and put it on a boat instead of having it on the ground.
It.
Little lore, but that's cool.
Okay.
Things we really want to make sure of with the warrior is that all of our melee skills kind of have a lot of mobility. So it's kind of like a basic attack. You've got like this kind of thing. Like in PoE 1, this would be like stand and do something. In PoE 2, it involves a lot of mobility. And the other thing, of course, is just like we were talking about on the Druid, is all the combo type stuff. So on the warrior, one of the really nice combos to use is armor break. So what I can do here is when I hit monsters with armor break, it breaks their armor. But then that is used when you... sorry, I managed to run away from that guy. When you... and so
So
Dodge to weep that.
Yeah, I watched
He's-
him dodge.
He's trying to get an armor break, and as you can see right here, you see this. This is an armor break symbol.
It showed that his armor is broken.
Weird.
So when you attack them when they've got their armor, obviously you're going to do a lot more damage. That's like really like the symbol.
But also right here, you see this bar?
Yes, that bar. I was one. Oh,
That's the stagger bar.
The stagger bar. So when that full, they just get stunned.
They get stunned. That's correct.
Oh, I know that from Street Fighters.
Simplest level.
From Mortal Kombat.
I don't like either one of you right now.
And then the other thing that you can do is that some of the other skills that we have things that affect armor breaks. They often remove armor break and do something else. So this guy has armor broken right now, and then if I use leap slam, okay, somehow I managed to not trigger that. There's a very high chance to do a heavy stun. Apparently, though, that doesn't seem to work for that guy. So.
So apparently, he's like, "Motherfucker, you just."
He said it's a really high chance too, and he did it twice.
That is one of those times where you're just like, I cannot. I'm actually trying to do this, and this game is not cooperating.
Who built this
It's like
game?
taking your car to the mechanic and it doesn't do the noise.
So, I don't know what happened there. But yeah, there's a very high chance to heavy stun. There we
Boom! There's a stun.
Hey, look, he's stunned.
Look, they're all stunned. Look at that. So he did like the armor break, and now they're stunned. Pretty
It's like
straightforward.
actual stun ability.
Little combo.
But what he's saying is that so if you put an armor break on something, there are other abilities that
Could use the armor break in a different way.
yeah. So it triggers the well, I wouldn't say trigger. It takes the debuff, and since you have that debuff, then it triggers the extra stun effect, and then they lose the armor break.
Like one they could have is someone's bleeding. Another effect could take that bleeding and turn it into hemorrhaging, where it doesn't kill
Yeah,
them,
something
but
like-
like it
yeah.
does like 3 times as much as bleeding.
go.
Oh, true.
it just
Exactly.
leaves them on
Exactly.
one.
Something like that.
And that means that you can follow up with something that's much more slow. So an example of that kind of thing is we have a thing called Supercharged Slam, which lets you gather a bunch of rocks on your weapon and slam them.
Okay.
Okay, that was kind of cool. All right, I like
That's
that.
Like it actually gathered a rock on a staff. And everything.
Yes, and then it double smashed too. Like it wasn't just one; it went off
I thought it was
twice.
one.
No, it went off twice.
So if you just use it like for a short amount of time, you get like 2 slams.
Oh.
But the long
See,
It pulls
like
up
I
a
said, it was
bunch
2
of
slams. See, I
rocks.
told you. So, okay, now he's gonna do it like full.
when you hold it down, the more rocks gather up until eventually you can do like a ridiculous number.
Is that 3 or 4?
That was
4.
4.
Ooh.
Let's take a replay.
The more rocks gather up until eventually you can do like a ridiculous number.
That
That
was
was
4.
4, yeah.
That's 4. 4.
Oof.
That's a pretty good smash.
That's a good smash.
Jesus.
I can already see this. If you can set up a stun or something, or like,
Could you
or-
imagine being that stunned like enemy? Did that person's just charging it up?
Yeah, but think about the sequences where the boss comes in, or anything like that, where you're like waiting, and you could literally just hold and charge this, right?
That's just like a real quick bit of health, and you're just like, thank God. This boss
Yes.
feels really good.
Of slams. So you want to be able to try and stun monsters, ideally, to be able to get that. So getting that, getting the leap slam, and then getting the supercharged slam is a good way to kill monsters. It probably wasn't worthwhile on these like random white monsters, but on a rare, it matters a lot. The other thing you can do is sunder.
I mean, the thing about this though is that he's using a big 2-handed item, and it feels like he's using a big 2-handed item.
Yes.
Yeah.
When he swings it, whenever it hits that ground, you hear it, you feel it, you know it. It's all that small little detail,
He
that
just
weapon
swings it
slamming
like a
into the
two-handed.
ground. Yeah, the way he swings it, the little animations, the way he interacts with the weapon whenever like he
Yeah.
does big things with it. Like whenever he does a slam strike, he slams it and then he jumps over it and then he slams it a second time. I mean, he put his weight into that. He was too like the weapon is so heavy, he was able to jump on it over it without it moving. And you could feel it and you could see it. Small things like that go so long, and just like the animation and the way the game feels. I love it.
Oh man.
I love the way.
So if you sunder on an armor broken enemy, so I'll just talk about sunder when you normally use it. It basically is a very slow attack that does.
Whoa.
I like that. Whoa.
Look at landslide.
Yes. Oh, throwing your weight around.
It's like attacks on a line. And it's actually most useful when you have lots of monsters, because every time it hits a monster, it does a little ripple of damage. So if you use it on one monster, it's actually quite weak. But if you use it on a whole pack of monsters, then because the damage overlaps between each other, we'll just gather a bunch here, it absolutely annihilates them. And so this is a useful interaction. But
So the more there is there, the damage basically, what's the best way to put it? It ripples off or bounces off each other and
Yeah.
it multiplies.
Yeah.
So the more there's there, the more damage that does.
So they can make the enemies tankier, making the fights a little better as well.
So if a boss that has spawned people, you just gather them up and just
oh,
kill the boss.
yeah.
with all of
Yes.
them.
Yeah,
That's a
'cause if you can-
tactic, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a good tactic. The more they spawn, if you can get it around the boss, that would just multiply the damage and hit the boss with it as well.
No,
Yeah.
that just lets you know that it is
Possibly
possible to
one-shot 'em.
like build whatever you want and it work.
I just thinking about different builds that could be possibly done with some of these things, like the
this
slamming to
could
get
be-
the biggest cooldown as possible, just so you can keep slamming.
if you armor break one of the monsters, then Sunder does 500% damage to that monster. And also, it does 500% damage to all the monsters that get, like from the little wave from those monsters as well. So that means that armor break Sunder can be a really useful way to do that.
You don't say.
500%?
You
Yeah.
don't say. That fifth of health you just did to the boss just turned into a straight up quarter.
So already 500. Okay, that's that's numbers going crazy. Wow, you get to
You
do
could,
stuff.
could you imagine you nearly one shot a boss because he spawned in a bunch of little
That's-
dudes?
No joke.
Another one we have here is a Warcry skill, so I'm going to use Infernal Cry. So Infernal Cry puts this little thing on the monsters, and then when you kill them, it causes them to explode, dealing damage to nearby monsters. So it's another kind of good pack clearer. But the other thing that it does is it gives you an exerted attack, which means that your next slam skill is going to do a lot of extra fire damage. So a good thing to do is to armor break the monster, get the leap slam on that monster to stun them, although apparently once again that monster seems to be broken.
He's so mad about that. Third time in a row.
Give up, dude.
Dude, it's only
Just
to the
give-
big guys.
give
You
up.
one shot the rest.
Give up, man. It's not happening.
Dude, he's gonna go
This
for it.
guard is very
fifth time.
annoying, so I'm just going to move on.
I know he's
Is
not.
this annoying? I'm just gonna move on.
Get the leap slam on the monster, and
Ooh.
Ooh, that was
Ooh, you see
close.
that health? That was close. That was close.
get the leap slam on the monster.
Oh.
It's actually below the play bar. That's pretty low.
That's not
And then do the yell to get the
Alright.
exert, and then do the supercharged slam to get a lot of damage.
Not so good.
So that kind of combo is what you'd be wanting to use if you're fighting a boss, and it's something that can really, can really help. So yeah,
damage.
yeah, exactly. So you've got to
So wait. You can just use skills? You don't have to
What?
do little basic attacks to build up resource to be able to use the skill?
What game does
This
that?
game
I didn't even
sucks.
know that was possible. That's weird.
Why would you be able to do that? That's not
Huh.
that's not how you truly play the game.
Why? That's
What's the point of
yeah,
autoing anymore, huh?
That's weird. Like
You just got
Why
rid
you
of like
have
the main
autos,
source
huh?
of combat. How
huh.
how dare you?
Like this other
Things
game
have
does
been
that.
good for
I thought that
so
was the
long.
only way to. I thought that was the only way to play.
Yeah, how else are you supposed to
Weird.
use the weapon you get if you
It
can't
doesn't
auto?
miss any
So
other way.
weird.
I guess one of a philosophy you would say in PoE too is that you really have to earn your single target damage. It's not just a question of like, here's a single target skill, just use it. You really have to like earn that single target by doing a combination of things. And if you do that, you'll be rewarded by getting a lot more damage in a situation like that. So yeah, that's sort of some of the stuff I've been doing on the Marauder. Sorry, no, not Marauder. The Warrior. I've got 2 classes for each of the combinations, and yeah, hopefully that's very interesting. One of the things that I like the most is
So you say there's better aggro, like you have to hit them more times to get the aggro on them?
So what he was talking about was he was talking about the single target damage, and that to get the biggest single target damage, you have to go through different combinations of things. But if you do it, it's a big payoff. Like how he was doing the armor break into a stun or into the cry, so on and so forth, to use that armor break into another bigger ability, like the big,
combos.
you know, the
Actually
big
do
slam.
combos.
Oh, so combos.
Actual
Yes,
combos.
there you go.
Okay. Also,
That's what he's doing.
I really like the red desert that's going on right here.
Dude.
Yes.
Wait, so did he say 2 classes for every one of the combinations? Well, if I do my math and there's 6 different combinations and there's 2, that means there's 12 different classes in the game.
And that word "different" is very much like
I
it
feel like
means
that's,
different.
I feel like that's more than 5.
Yeah.
But I think your math's off.
And this is a free-to-play game?
Can't be.
on the Huntress is a skill called Whirling Slash. So the design of this is basically, this is just a little town area, so I can just practice here without any monsters attacking me. But when you use this, it creates this little like whirling storm around you. And the more you use it, the larger the storm gets. And when you exit the storm, it explodes. So it's kind of like a really nice single target, sorry, not single target, it's a really nice area of effect thing that you can use to kill a whole bunch of monsters. So that's kind of like a non
Okay, that's pretty nice.
I like
That's
that.
an interesting way to do a win skill of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
Not very many win skills in the first place.
Well, yeah, well, in any game, really, when you start thinking about it, there's very few that really do it pretty well when it
Yeah.
comes to that.
Could you imagine a wind skill execute just sucks the lungs out of you? Saying, I mean, that'd be pretty cool execute.
Is this a Mortal Kombat fatality you're trying to come up with?
No, he saw airbending.
That's off.
obvious one as well. So like I can use dodge roll to get out of it, but there's actually more things you can use. For example, if I use this here, I've got a skill here which like makes your character run maybe you didn't quite see that, like do like a slash back, and which also traps monsters. So you want to kind of like whirling slash and then get out.
Wait, hold on.
She leaps while doing a backslash.
She can do like a backslash leap backwards.
Yeah.
Which is basically another mobility item to get them out. And of course, all characters have rolls as well.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. So much mobility.
That's a lot of mobility.
And it's not a 5-second roll cooldown either.
No, you
12, 30 seconds, something like that.
know, I have to literally think about that and go, there's a cooldown on roll. It doesn't even make sense when you start thinking, like even halfway think about that. Like, okay.
That one, and then once you're out of there, then you can start throwing the your spears from range. So another one that's really useful for the Huntress is the spear field. So when you use this, probably not that useful against zombies because they move so slowly anyway. But you create a field of spears and they slow down monsters. So if you've got a lot of fast monsters around, then that's a really handy one. And then the other one that's kind of useful is puncture. So puncture can be useful for moving from one pack to the other. If I make this thing here, well, there's no other monsters nearby, so that's unfortunate. But effectively, it's a skill that lets you teleport towards monsters like this. And the further away you are when you use it, the more that you're going to bleed. The more.
I can already see this, yeah. So if you do the wind thing, then you can bounce back, do that backslash, and then you can do the puncture to go back forward and do your triple jab strikes as well.
Jesus. You can just
They're going to bleed them. So it can be quite handy to use, depending on the situation. So maybe if I'll sort of do this. So I'm going to create a whirling slash here. I'm going to go out of there, which traps them in. But I can...
Holy hell, how much damage does that do?
Almost all of her.
That's cool.
Wasn't in there for that long either. That
go
was
back in with the puncture to bleed,
nearly dead.
and then follow up with my more single target rapid assault skill, which has a nice ending damage thing there. So this guy's moving pretty fast, so I'll use spear field to slow him down a little bit. and then I can pre-prepare my Whirling Slash before he arrives, and then maybe like get the mech like this, then go back into the puncture, this kind of thing. So there's a lot of mobility to combat that you can achieve.
This guy doesn't look like he plays this very well. Like this isn't his class.
No,
Definitely
but
not. But
sensing.
it's playing pretty well.
But he
He's
has
definitely
like
playing
no
slower.
worries about dying. Like if I did this, I would have died a few times just trying to play the game.
Right.
You kind of know what you're doing, which I honestly don't really that much compared to some
definitely a
people on the team.
warrior player.
Yeah.
So I
He's a
haven't
lot
done too much
different.
practice on
Wait, hang on. Wait, what was
I
that?
honestly don't really that much compared to combat that you can achieve if you kind of know what you're doing, which I honestly don't really that much compared to some people on the team.
Yeah.
So I haven't done too much practice.
He's honest.
At least he's honest.
Yeah,
He said I
like,
haven't done enough practice
he
as
said he
some people
don't
on the
know.
team.
He's still doing all right though.
He's
Still
still
Yeah, he's
all right.
doing
Pretty
really
good.
good.
like he's actually
It's
using
better-
other
It's
abilities.
better than, you know, senior dungeon designer and assistant. Assistant designer.
So
Practice on this class,
Associate
the
designer,
skill ceiling for
right.
PoE2 can be quite a lot higher because of the fact that there's a lot more of the sort of action combat stuff that you can do. So we only put like a few skills in there, and this is also Act 2, so you don't have that many more skills compared to what you would have later on. But I guess that's it there, just sort of enough to show you, at least some of the basic stuff that you can do as a huntress. We do have a lot of other like elemental spear attacks, like we've got a lot of different throws, but this class was kind of really
basically Zeus.
Oh, this just reminded me of the Amazon and D2.
Hmm.
She's got spear javelins, or lightning javelins like this.
Yes.
about is sort of going into and out of combat a lot. You know, like you charge in, you jump out, like this kind of thing. You know, like and then you've got stuff that you can do from range. You've got stuff you can do from close. It's really about exploring that that sort of in and out kind of thing that it's got going on. Yeah, that's kind of the main thing that the Huntress is about.
I don't know. I'm kind of liking the Huntress a little bit. I don't know. Something
Huntress is
about
pretty cool.
spear and shield. I don't know. I kind of like that.
There was no bow that they used. It was all just the little short dagger.
There's
The
so
what?
many more
The
abilities.
little dagger that they had, the little short sword.
That wasn't a
using,
short-
like, a spear. Not a spear, but a bow. I mean, bow or crossbow.
Wasn't
What
there
were you?
an ability?
Hang on, what were you talking about?
The character, the ranger, the huntress.
Okay, the one we was just watching.
Yeah,
But that was a spear.
That was an
it wasn't a
ability, right?
crossbow or a bow is what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. No, because that's the ranger. That's a different class.
They're in the same. They're the two that are most similar, aren't they?
You know, you're saying that, but I don't.
Or would the
I don't-
huntress be closer to the what's his name? The sword man. What's his name?
Okay,
Duelist.
so yeah, the duelist. I'm saying, no, maybe. I don't know. The lightning feels like it'd be intelligence, like spells.
Yeah.
But I definitely don't feel like she'd be just pure dexterity. Well, then maybe she will. I don't know. It's so odd. It's hard to
It
tell.
could be pure. Lightning could be more dexterity heavy.
No, she's probably at dexterity, intelligence, because she does have the mobility. So dexterity, I think. would
So
play a key
yeah,
part.
so she'd be closest
Yeah.
to the ranger then.
But definitely, the lightning would definitely be intelligence. So she's probably a
It's
hybrid of both.
closer to this, probably like the shadow.
Yeah,
That's kind of what I was leaning. Yeah,
It's kind of a rogue.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm. I don't know. I don't want to look it up right this second, and we can find out.
but
But
then
Yeah.
again, you can use like
I'll try to
everything.
see
So I
anyway.
mean,
It's not too important. It's just more.
you could
kind of
build a
interesting.
lot. So I mean,
yes.
Druid.
So we have warrior and huntress. So what are you thinking
I'm liking it.
from what you've seen from those classes?
They're pretty solid. I like the way they feel. The way they
They
look,
actually-
the way that the gameplay is, their abilities, everything feels very smooth, solid.
That's kind of what I was thinking. So far, so good.
The way the combat, I just love the way you move around in the combat. I love how, and I love that feature so much.
It's more of the small details I like about it.
And the way he talked about, like, yeah, we just wanted the combat to be more movement based, and I was very happy about that. I love it whenever combat is just very like moving
yeah.
around.
Especially when the whole
Yes.
game revolves around combat. Yes. Yeah.
what a concept. Isn't it?
Yeah. What a concept. Yeah.
Weird. Look at the take on this Druid gameplay then. How about this?
That was kind of cool.
Now I'd like to remind you. I'd like to remind you of that other Druid that we saw in some other game
I
just
don't
a
even
little while
remember
ago.
after seeing this one.
What are you talking about?
That's what I thought.
Bro,
He's smacking them. With
you just
Wait,
stuck him.
he gets a pack as well.
Yeah, let me go back a little bit.
Look at little wolves.
He gets
He
a
has
pack
wolves.
of wolves.
My internet has decided to do whatever it feels like at this point. Like
Yeah.
it does not want me playing this for some reason.
It's Blizzard.
Can't do that. No, no, no.
Whoa.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Rogers, one of the game
Hi.
directors on Path of Exile 2. In Path of Exile 2, you can pick from one of 12 character classes.
12. I was right.
Whoa.
That's crazy. That's way more than 5.
Dude.
This is a free-to-play game.
That doubles the amount from PoE 1 though.
Mm.
Whoa.
Like, ooh, they actually added 6 more characters. Come on. From the last
Wow.
one.
Unique characters, might
Yeah.
add.
Each character has a combination of primary attributes that they focus on. Today, we'd like to show off a character who specializes in strength and intelligence, the Druid. In human form, the Druid is a spellcaster who channels the fury of nature on the battlefield, a walking natural disaster.
Like
Get
the
up
way
close
you
and you'll find out why the Druid also focuses on strength. You can transform yourself into one of several wild beasts. Today, we want to show off the bear form. Automatically when you use a bear attack. Use Bear Maul and your character will transform into a bear and do a meaty swing. Use a spell and your character transforms back into a human and casts it. Hitting
That's
enemies
cool.
with the Bear's Maul attack will build up rage, which increases your attack damage. So your bear gets stronger with every attack. You can see the glowing runes that indicate rage on your back.
Oh,
That's so sick.
glowing ruins that indicate rage on your
So-
back.
He gets even more redder.
So like you
Ah,
can see on your character an approximation of how much rage you have without
I'm
having to
thinking
look
of
somewhere
an
else.
animation or just like a lore story
Or
of
look
someone
to the top
talking about like
left.
their town got burned and then they see like a druid and it is just a beacon of red.
Have you noticed
That
how
would be
clean
so
the
sick.
you notice how clean the animation is when he's going in
Yes!
and out?
I was noticing he said that if you cast a bear ability, you just turn into a bear. If you cast a human ability, you just turn into a human. It's seamless. You just go back and forth whenever you want. So nice. Who would have
Wow,
thought?
it's like a quality of life that's so much easier. You can actually play the game.
You can play as the thing you want to play as. What?
I feel like we might be bashing too much on something else.
Have a lot of weak enemies to take out? This is where you probably want to break out your rampage. Let out a roar and stampede over all enemies in your path, slamming the ground with your paws.
Look at him. He's so fast.
The initial roar generates rage, and then the rage is consumed as you charge along. You can use Rampage by itself to travel a short distance, or do some mauling first to build up some rage and travel a significant.
Dude, he's just rampaging over. This is great.
It's not like he's even a small bear. He's a big bear.
That's a pretty big, yeah.
That's a
that's-
really big
He's matching
bear.
up with those sub bosses right there.
Yeah, look at
Anyway,
that.
like,
it's-
And
it's-
distance.
I don't know. Ooh, that's a
Now,
hit.
while the bear is big and strong, this isn't a pure strength class. You don't have as much armor as a warrior would have. In order to protect itself from larger packs, you might want to consider a skill like
look at
Furious
this animation
Slam.
moving.
This skill is all about stunning rather than damage, so it's quite useful if you're mobbed by smaller monsters and just need to get out of there.
that looked cool. Looked like he actually like smashed the ground.
Yes, and the fine detail, like the rocks are still broken even as of right now.
Yeah.
But okay, so for the facts, so for first we're in a bear form. It looks like you when he does his maul strikes, it looks like he's actually swinging.
Yes.
When he smashes the ground, it looks like he actually does something, and his rampage is pretty clean.
Yeah. The way he pops up, and then thud, thud, and then thud, thud.
This is pretty clean.
It's really nice. I love watching it. It's so mesmerizing. I can't lie. Every ounce of the animations and all the detail work, it's just so nice to watch.
But the biggest thing out of all this is look at the size of the character on the screen and how much more screen space you can see.
It's not the only thing taking up the screen.
It's the camera's pulled out.
Mm-hmm. That bear is a really big bear, and it is about the same size as what any character is for Diablo, taking up the screen.
Yeah, it's almost like we advanced in technology finally.
Wild! It's only like things getting to $400, so it should be worth it.
Of course, like any PoE 2 character, you can always use a dodge roll to get out of danger. Since the bear is the slowest of the Druid's forms, making sure the dodge feels reliable and can get you out of any situation is paramount. When you dodge an animal form, your character instantly transforms back with no time penalty, so that you can get out of the way.
So cool.
Wow. No time penalty.
Yeah.
Who would have thought
Ooh.
that a guy who does this as a daily thing can do it whenever he pleases? Oh, that's weird. The Druid
You can even interrupt a mistimed transformation halfway through. Of course, doing this will mean you pay the slight time cost of having to transform back again, but it's certainly a lot better than dying. Something interesting about the skill is that it's faster to use if you're already standing up. If you're on all fours when you use Furious Slam, then the bear has to stand up first before slamming back down. But use Maul first, and the bear will stand up as you swing, which has no time penalty.
What?
Whoa.
It's
Sense are
intuitive.
being made.
Oh my god, it's intuitive. Oh, that's so sick.
They're
So-
putting one
Who
cent
would've
and
thought?
another cent together to make
It's so
2
sick.
cents.
It's so simple, but it's so cool. If the bear's already standing, it doesn't have to stand, so it just does the animation. That's
So yeah, you half in the animation. What a concept! Because it just totally makes sense.
combo win feels better.
Holy hell, that's so good.
That is such a good thing. That's so cool. I love it.
Then follow up with Furious Slam, and your bear will quickly slam down. Much more efficient.
Yeah. I don't know what enemies these are, but man, they're annoying.
Next up, I want to talk about Ferocious Roar.
Spear bearer.
Ferocious Roar is
It reminds me.
I forgot
of the,
about that UI of that inventory, bro. It's so sick.
It looks pretty clean, doesn't it?
It's so sick. Look at it for a second. Oh, it's so sick.
In Diablo 2, there's these little. Oh man, what are
Dude, look at the sockets.
they?
You can see the entire you can see the sockets, what color they are, and if they're connected and what are connected, and you can see the items all stacked and everything all in one instead of you seeing the sockets separately.
Just learning from PoE 1.
Yeah, but you know, that's one thing of how this is actually 5 rows.
Oh, I didn't.
Whereas if you notice in Diablo 2, and so on and so forth, that there's only 4.
3. Oh, I thought it was 3.
So an
Well,
item
4
takes
because
up-
you can get like a cap when they stack on top, yada yada yada.
Oh, yeah.
There's like 3, then you have the little row below.
That one extra row made a lot.
It
Yeah,
does.
that one extra row adds so much versatility when it comes to these. It's a small thing, but man, it does actually mean a lot. It's so minor, but it actually does so much.
Yeah.
a bear meta skill gem. It allows you to take any Warcry skill that another class like the Warrior might use and allow you to use it as a bear. I'm going to take the Seismic
so
Cry gem
sick!
and socket it into Ferocious Roar. You can actually socket more than one Warcry and use them all together, but let's just stick to one for now.
Hold on. Did he just say you could use more than one war cry at once?
Yes.
That's so cool.
So
It makes the war cries really useful now. Instead of like you getting one and then that's it, you're not gonna get any other just because like that's not part of your build. You can get them now and use them.
It's like the
That's
bear
so
can use
cool.
any of the abilities from the warrior, right? So couldn't he use the was it armor breaking one?
I don't think he can use that one per se,
I think it was just
because I think when it comes to the classes, I feel like some are going to have specific skills only tied to that specific class.
Ah,
But then there's going to be but there's going to be many others that overlap.
yeah, like a shouting, for example. It's a great one.
Which, I mean, that makes sense.
yeah, bear roars.
So yeah, because each one does their war cries, so it would make sense that those would overlap, right?
Yeah.
I think that's how it's going to go.
Seismic Cry pushes enemies back and has some stun chance, but the reason we want to use it is for a mechanic called Exerted Attacks. If there are any heavily stunned enemies in range of the Warcry, then your next slam skill will be powered to do double the number of slams. First, I use Furious Slam to stun these enemies. Next, I follow up with Seismic Cry and get the Exerted Attack, and then I slam again. See how 2 slams triggered?
Wow, there's combos, and they work. Wow, it's so nice. Gosh damn it.
So, that's all well and good, but how about we try that again using Rampage? First, get a bit of rage, slam to stun the enemies, Seismic Cry to get the exert, and then rampage around to do insane amounts of damage. So we've covered some of the bear side of the Druid, but how is he as a spellcaster? Now, of course, we want to maximize the amount of time you spend in your animal forms, so most of the spells targeted at the Druid tend to be things that last a long time or provide tactical options on the battlefield. The first and probably simplest of these is Lightning Storm. Cast it on the ground and you get an area where monsters are continuously struck by bolts of lightning. The bolts don't do much damage, but they shock monsters, which is a debuff that increases all damage on them. Meaning it's
I
a great
like the way they had thought about the Druid and the fact that most people aren't really going to be throwing spells as a Druid. That's not why they chose Druid. They want to play as a bear. So the Druid, in light of that, has abilities that just allow you to be the bear. You just cast them beforehand and you're all good. And you just play as the bear. Which is really cool.
No, exactly. Because usually if you're going to do spell casting, you're going to pick a class that specializes in it. Just kind of natural.
Gonna pick a witch or warlock, wizard, doesn't matter.
But I have a feeling that if you wanted to, you could probably do more spell casting with the Druid if you chose that.
Oh,
because he has a decent amount. He has a decent amount of skills he's going to show off.
Oh,
great spell to use before going in as a bear. So, that's going to increase your damage, but as I mentioned before, the bear form of the Druid could use some defenses as well. The bear in particular is the slowest attacking of the Druid's forms. He hits hard, but if he gets swarmed too much, it will result in your death. That's why Tornado is so useful. Tornado sucks monsters in, allowing you to split up packs and deal with groups separately, or pin monsters in place and set up combos with your other skills. The Tornado doesn't really move big monsters much, so you can actually use it to separate a boss from its minions too.
What a nice concept. Being able to split up larger groups into smaller ones.
Making it manageable.
And it works with your kit.
Yep.
Nice.
It's not something that's forced either.
The Druid also has the ability to summon animal companions. This is another really useful
Who would have thought?
So, you get this straight. So he can cast spells, turn into a bear, and he gets animal companions.
Yep.
Oh, and this is just one build, too. This is just
This is
one singular build this guy is just showing us.
defense because wolves can take aggro from you, keeping monsters away.
Oh, he can summon wolves.
In
That
addition, the
can
wolves
take
howl as
aggro.
they are summoned, putting a temporary debuff on enemies that makes them more vulnerable to critical strikes.
Oh, and they do debuffs.
Let me get this straight. Wait a second. So the wolves not only do attack, but then they can apply debuffs as well that allow me to do more critical strike damage. It's almost like they
Or
work.
them.
And giving you a reason to resummon them in combat.
It gives you a reason to summon them in combat. Yes.
Wow, and it's almost like the AI knows where to go attack things. That's this technology seems crazy. Wow, it's almost like wish some other game worked with their minions and they actually did something correctly. Wow, this is like advanced technology at this point.
They got 5
Yeah, I've never seen it before.
I mentioned this is a free-to-play game.
The last Druid spell we're going to talk about today is Volcano. You can cast it quickly like this and it will spawn just a few projectiles. Or you can hold down the button to channel it for longer, which will make it fire a whole bunch of projectiles when it spawns, doing a lot more damage.
Pretty cool.
Wait.
Small little detail.
So now the same skill, but you can use it in 2 different ways.
Crazy.
Quick casts, charged casts.
Amazing.
Like it's something so simple, but it's just like, wow,
Done.
okay.
And it's clear that it's not done yet.
The Volcano sticks around firing its little projectiles for a long time, so it's another good skill to cast before turning into a bear. Now, the reason you're going to want to turn into a bear after using Volcano is
Oh, did I just see what I think I saw?
that any slam near the Volcano results in it spewing out even more projectiles.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Oh yeah. Yeah.
And if you thought that was a lot, then Rampage is
But dude, it just
Every
makes
time he
sense though.
slams.
I don't know, there's a multi
Yeah.
volcano shooting stuff. If I slam on the ground, it just shoots more lava up in there because I don't know. I shook the crazy. What
You
a
just
what a
rumbled
concept.
the ground and broke everything around it. I
It
hope
just makes
it would
sense.
affect it in
Yeah.
some regard. So good. They think.
even better.
What's
because
so
it does
hard
2
about
slams
thinking
every
once
time
in
it
a
hits the
while?
ground. And you can run around the volcano.
This is- oh my God. You got a lot of rage.
Now, if you've been paying attention, you might have realized that this is going to be extra good with Seismic Cry, which we were using earlier to double the number of slams. So, first we're going to cast Volcano.
I just like that he's wandering around. He's this big bear and he's got 3 wolves just like tagging with him, like his pack. Like, what the fuck? Looks Druid to me.
Then Furious Slam till you stun something, Seismic Cry to get the double slams, then Rampage around while the Volcano spews out a stupid number of projectiles.
Stupid. That is an astute. Yes, that is the proper thing. A stupid amount of projectiles. That is the proper
That's-
way to put that.
I gotta say, he's a gamer. He's someone
This
that
combo
I
would have
can
been even
listen
better
to
if we'd
and
remembered to
understand
cast
what's
our
going
Lightning
on.
Storm first. But getting time for that
That's so
seems
cute.
Because
tricky.
he knows what he's
It would
talking
also have been
about.
nice
That's
if the
biggest
monsters were
thing.
affected by the crit debuff that my wolves do when I first summon them. This is where some meta gems to automate some elements can come in handy. Here's a gem called Cast While Channeling. If we add
Automate?
Lightning Storm to the skill, we can cast it automatically while we channel a Volcano as we set up our combo.
I like automate. Automate's good. And we're automatically doing other spells while we're casting other. Okay.
Cast While Channeling is an ongoing effect, so enabling the skill will
And I don't have to charge my resource with basic attacks?
cost us Spirit, which is a new resource in PoE 2 used specifically for these kinds of skills. If you look at the top left of the screen as we channel,
Okay, I need to break this into focus for you Diablo 4 people. Okay, you look up here. See, these are called debuffs, and they give a timer, but it shows that you have a debuff on your character, and for how long it's going to last. This here shows a charge thing, so that when this hits 100%, it's going to cast a spell. I know this is new to you, but this has been around for a long time.
Dude, it's like introducing cavemen into society at this point.
Dude, it's so.
What's that? Those?
I'm pretty sure in
Debuffs.
season 6, as part of the quality of life.
They had a whole thing. Quality of life.
we can see the energy building up to cast the Lightning Storm. So long as we channel Volcano for long enough, the Lightning Storm will also be
Like he's
cast on the
bleeding.
same targeted location.
How could I possibly tell you without looking at the top left that he is bleeding? I don't know. Let's check this. Let me tell you if you can notice the. How would you know that he's like hemorrhaging blood?
So long as we channel Volcano for long enough, the lightning storm will also be cast
I'm just taking a guess.
It's just a flesh wound.
on the same targeted location.
He's walking it off like one.
Currently, castball
This boy is so good. It's these minor things, but it.
We sound like we're nitpicking. I won't lie. It sounds like we're nitpicking, but these tiny little details is what make the game beautiful, man.
It
The
does.
small craftsmanship is what is just amazing to see in this game.
It's not so much nitpicking as much as it's here's the reason why. The why is because I don't have to take my eyes from the middle of the screen where my character's at to figure out that something's wrong with my character. Instead of trying to figure it out on my skill bar, or in this case, they have an extra thing on the top left that's going to tell me how long this is going to last once I even notice it's on my character. It's a visual representation that something is wrong or something is good.
Yes.
Such as when he's enraged in his bear form.
He's red. It's very clear. He is red. He is mad. Now he has rage.
So then I can see and relate that. I could take a quick look and be like, okay, well, how much do I have? How long is it going to last? Yada, yada, yada. But it already gives a visual representation that I can see to know that something is either good or bad. And it's so key because you're not taking your eyes off. You don't have to constantly take your eyes all over the place. This isn't an RTS game. This is an ARPG game. And your character's always in a lot of combat. It's always destroying stuff. You're trying to collect loot, so on and so forth. So your eyes should be in the middle of the screen. Not always darting to the edge or darting to somewhere else.
You should be always making sure that your character is alive. And if
Channeling
you
is
can't do
active.
that, then you're not playing the game.
and reserving spirit in both our human and bear forms. This means that any channeling skills we use as a bear technically will also cast the lightning storm. We can actually do this with Rampage right now, but it's not the best because we would prefer to stack the lightning storm on top of our volcano, rather than just casting it randomly as we're rampaging around. We're also unnecessarily reserving spirit in our bear form we could be using for something else, so let's fix that.
We are?
I'm going to go into the skill options for the skill and disable it in my bear form. We showed at ExileCon how you could use skill options to control which weapon set to use when casting skills, but you can also use the same interface to enable or disable which buffs you would like to have active in your different weapon sets too, without having to recast them all the time, and shapeshifting counts as a weapon set.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Who would have thought they did things to improve without having to be told to improve it?
Let me get this straight. They've already thought ahead and said, you know what? Where bear form seems like it'd be something completely different. We should make a weapon set just for that.
And then they did.
Sound about right.
But no. When you think about it for a second, if you have certain auras that only work usually when you're casting spells and so on and so forth, then why would you want to have that on while you're in bear form?
Oh my god, that's so true.
Why would you want to have anything? in
So
bear
wait, it
form?
changes your
Just balls.
entire like what's the name? So basically your whole configuration, like your spell configuration. Changes that or no?
No, he's talking about spirit. So you know, like
Spirit.
aura, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Things are like
So
background
instead of
stuff.
having a mana orb when in bear form, you have like a
You can use
sunder
something.
aura.
You can take it off, or you and use something completely different.
So good.
And it automatically does that.
Autumn.
Now when I change to a bear, the effect and the spirit reservation goes away, and when I change back to a human again, it's back automatically.
Back automatically.
Ooh.
No changing, no recasting. Automatically changes back.
So, now that we have some extra spirit available as a bear, why don't we make our life a little bit easier by automating one of our other skills? This
I
is
like
the Cast on
automation.
Melee Stun meta gem. I'm going to put Summon Wolf in Cast on Melee Stun, so that whenever I stun a sufficient number of enemies while I'm a bear, it will summon another wolf.
Oh, that's
This is great, because usually when I'm stunned, it's because I'm about to do my exerted attack slam combo. When wolves come out, they howl, adding the crit debuff to the monsters, right when I need it. It also helps keep my wolves alive and summoned at all times without me having to do it manually.
Dude. It's almost like instead of playing the mini game of doing spells and stuff, they're like, why don't we just automate it and just beat shit up?
Like, that sounds like fun. Yeah.
Let's take out the excessive nonsense and let's just play the game.
And then everyone's on every part of the dev team's like, yeah, that sounds. Let's make a game, people.
So, last but not least, let's talk about the skill tree. At ExileCon, we showed how you could dual spec your character so that different weapons can use different passives. Well, as I said before, the bear form counts as another weapon set for specialization purposes.
So you
So
can do
he
it
gets a
in
tree
this-
too. If I open my passive tree, you can see how I'm near a melee damage cluster and a spell damage cluster. By holding shift, I can allocate these passives in my human form, and these ones as a bear.
Ah, that's
Now, when I change between human and bear form, my passives reallocate automatically. So, here we are at the Blind Beast. The goblins have enslaved a huge behemoth and gouged out its eyes. Now they're sending it in to fight you while they watch.
What have they done to this creature?
Dodge? Oh, not that time. Beast on beast battle.
If I was a goblin, I would be like the best thing ever. You're probably gonna, absolutely ransack this afterwards, but like, it was a pretty cool fight.
Good roll, good roll. Oh, the random wolf, nice. Let it rain!
Heart of the earth!
Ooh. Look, my biggest thing as an entire thing is this right here. That even bosses or things like that have a stagger bar of some kind.
You can stagger.
A stagger or stun bar.
The boss is not some immortal god that you are just some mere human to go and fight. No, you are on the same playing field.
Well,
You whip his, like, you can sock him just as hard as he can sock you.
but it also works for like freezing and stuff too. So there's like a bar for him to actually get frozen at certain points.
So
So
ice
it
is
works with
actually
element.
viable.
Yeah, so it works with all the elements and so on and so forth, which is that's
Nuts
Nice.
to think about.
I'll see you guys later. I gotta get going.
alrighty. Appreciate you.
Yeah, it was fun.
Oh, yeah,
School
for
and
sure.
stuff. Yeah,
We only
fuck
got like
yeah.
we got a little over a minute and a half. You want to hang on a little
Yeah. So,
bit?
Die, fiend!
The bar is getting close. There it is. It's
He
stunned.
got stunned.
It'd be nice if it's a warrior and can smack
Yo, he
him.
just yelled no mana.
He did, didn't he?
This suffering ends here.
It was in thin battle. You didn't hear it like on like slightly like out of mana. You are out of mana. I cannot cast that now. No, it's
Yeah, wow.
he's
he
in
did.
battle yelling it.
This suffering ends here. Shameful.
And there we have it. With a little bit of customization, we have a build that can combine many different active skills to do some really interesting effects.
And they ran like
At the same
bitches
time, your
after
skill
that.
tree reconfigures automatically at the right time, and your buffs reconfigure automatically as well. You can even cast certain skills automatically. But we also haven't lost the dynamics of combat. Many skills interact with each other, and the ones you choose to use at any different moment depend a lot on what enemies you face or what situation you're in right at this moment. And at just the right time, you might be able to combine all your skills in one crazy combo, get some satisfying screen covering spam, and do some crazy damage. Now, these are just some of the skills targeted at the Druid in PoE 2. We didn't even show you the wolf form yet. There's a lot more to play and experience.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
love
god,
that.
that was the best.
We didn't even show you the wolf form yet.
That was just a bear roll.
Yeah,
With the
decent
Druid in
girl.
PoE 2. We didn't even show you the wolf form yet.
Oh, that's
God.
the best right there. That's good.
Yeah, I'm so glad they saved that.
Oh my god.
We needed
Yo.
that. That was a very important. We
Yeah.
definitely.
I talked about this earlier.
That was
Could
neat.
you imagine the bear rolled? Oh.
There's a lot more to play and experience, and we look forward to letting you guys try it out when we go into beta on June 7th, 2024.
They have a release date.
Okay,
Oh my
they
God.
put this out 2 or 3 times. They're very confident in this date. Very
Yo,
confident.
That's incredible.
And he's gonna have other forms. Like that's
Dude, that's really not that far. It's a good distance, don't get me wrong. But still, June 7th,
10 months,
that's,
no big deal. Well,
that's
maybe
not
closer
bad.
to 9.
for this game. Oh, it's so good. Oh, so great.
So,
ready.
very, very, very. Yeah. That's
Closed beta. Oh, I'm so excited.
I'm feeling good. Feeling good about this.
This game
about
looks.
this.
It gives a lot of confidence.
Yes, promise.
So promising.
Sure.
For me, it gives me that feel of what Diablo 2 was when I first started out ever playing that,
It
where
feels-
you have these different classes and then you have these different skill trees and there's different ways you can play the same character. And
Which
it's giving
is-
me that exact same feel, except this looks even more in depth. It looks like there's even more different ways to play this. Like, yeah, he's just doing bear, but there's probably more specific things to the other forms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He hasn't even shown you wolf yet.
Yeah.
I love how aware he was about it. Like, we didn't even show you what the wolf's like yet.
With the wolf pack too, that'd be fun.
Oh.
Yeah, really, no joke.
But the bear was just amazing to see. I love the
I
little
liked it.
runic details it did on the back. I think the wolf will look really cool for the.
It's gonna be.
Druid.
I feel like it's gonna be good.
feel like it'll be
It's one of those games I'm actually excited to want to see.
I would love to see it get really positive reviews. Cause it really has to. There is a slight chance it flops, but I'm
And you know
super
what?
hoping it does.
I bet their freaking menu screen's not going to be worth a dang. Their game's-
Oh.